My name is Ryan. My friend Kyle and I have taken our barroom conversations to the internet in the form of Michigan's most up-and-coming sports talk podcast. From baseball to Bigfoot, we cover it all. You're in for a treat because you have found the Turbo and 2K show. "2K crew, what is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to episode 32. 32, and gotta give it up to Mr. 2Ks. He's playing hurt today. He's not feeling the best, so if he does get some sniffles, some coughs, you know what? In normal 2K crew fashion, we just play through it.
That's right.
So big ups to you, my friend. I'm not sure sickness is weird this year. Seems like it's right when you get rid of it, you get it right back.
Yeah. Well, and plus with school starting.
That's true.
I mean, it was only like 2 or 3 days. My daughter come home from sick with sniffles, and I was like, here we go. And I'm going to end up with it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's ran its course through everybody in our entire family.
Of course.
So.
Of course.
But hopefully we'll go through it now, and then come winter time, maybe we'll have an immune system to it, build it up, and be over it. So
yeah. We shall see.
Not.
Yeah, either that or just keep cycling throughout the house.
That's probably how it works.
But, 2K crew, I did want to give a big shout out to you because, we've got almost 50 views on the first YouTube video. So I'm kind of pumped about that, and I want to say thank you. And while I'm looking at the camera, I want to explain the t-shirt that I have on. This was given to me by Mr. Kevin Jack, and it says, "Urban Liar, the new standard in Columbus." And Kevin asked me if I would wear this, and I said, absolutely. And I had a feeling that Mr. 2Ks would not be upset.
Not at all.
So, big shout out to Taz. And, I mean, is that like our first sponsorship? I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Both myself and 2Ks, we are for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just give me your money and we'll work something out. And while I was editing everything last week, I did come across an error by me, and I just wanted to. It was something that I came across, and it was irritating the shit out of me. So I want to clarify everything. When we were talking about the LSU quarterback, I mentioned that it was Gus Malzahn's best looking quarterback. When Gus Malzahn does not coach LSU, no, he's in Auburn. I mean, it's kind of the same general area, but I mean, it's definitely not the right person. But I did want to give kudos to the right person, Mr. Ed Ogeron, Mr. Cajun Jack himself. And let's take care of some 2K crew business. We did have a Mr. Jeremy Warren wanted me to give his son Derek and his courtmate, I guess you would call it, Taylor Howard, down in Riverton Park High School in Indiana. They had their homecoming. Derek's the quarterback there for the football team, and the team didn't do so well. It's 50-0, but you know what? It's only one game. Just put it behind you, look forward, and like I said, you got the homecoming and everything out of the way, so no distractions. Just keep it going. Keep your nose to the grindstone, and I'm sure everything will work out, big guy. So yeah, let's get started into what happened since we talked last. And the Bucks and Panthers. I know we're going to get everything kicked off with the fucking Bucks and Panthers. What a horrible fucking game.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of this Thursday night game. I just think that it's always, for one, the slate is always terrible. The teams that are always playing on Thursday night, it always, and maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like it's always like bottom of the barrel teams, and it just turns into a fucking field goal fest where, if it turns out it's a 13-6 game or some bullshit like that. But so I don't even get excited for it.
No, doing what we do, I usually try to watch as much sports as I can.
Oh yeah.
I went to bed.
Yeah.
I I had zero. And to put it to you this way, I didn't have to work on Friday, so I had all night to watch the game. Fuck it, no, the game's horrible.
No.
The only thing that was the saving grace in that game was the monocolor uniforms that were fucking retarded. Thank God we didn't have to stare at that, because if I had to stare at that on top of the garbage that was on the field, I wouldn't have lasted the first quarter.
Yeah, no. And what I take out of it is, and it pains me to say this because I've always been a fan of Cam, but I think he's done. I think he's done. If Carolina thinks that they're going to compete for a championship someday with Cam Newton as your quarterback, those days are over. Those days, back when he was arguably one of the best running backs in the game playing
Superman.
quarterback, yes, that was when they were legit. He's banged up. He's got there's been too many injuries. There's been too many surgeries. He can't carry the ball like he used to. He's done. If you want him to sit in the pocket and try to pick defenses apart and read defenses, he can't do that.
That's never been his game.
Nope.
That's never been his forte any place he's played.
And you know what? I'm kind of my bold statement. I'm calling it now. He might be the next Andrew Luck. He might be the next young player that just hangs it up.
And you know what? Half of me would not be upset because that would happen. Because we wouldn't have to look at his stupid fucking outfits anymore. And then B, his hair. I mean, I posted something on Facebook. I said, is this like extra padding for when you get hit so you don't get concussions? It looks like he's homeless.
Yeah.
And then with the stupid scarf and everything.
Yeah.
No. I'm like the least one to get style points from, but goddamn.
Yeah.
So you know what, Cam? If you do hang it up, take your closet with you, please. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. But even on the other side of the ball, Jameis Winston looked both quarterbacks looked awful.
Yeah, but the only positive I can take out of it for Jameis is he didn't turn the ball over.
That is,
normally his normal, stat line at the end of games is he's got probably 2 or 3 interceptions and he fumbles the ball once or twice. And he does that. Yeah. And he didn't turn the ball over, and that's the reason why they won the game.
Yeah.
He took care of the ball. He made the plays that needed to be made, and they won the game. And they got, they're 1-1. They got their first win of the season. So, that defense with Todd Bowles being back there playing as a defensive coordinator. I know he didn't make it as a head coach with the Jets, but back where he belongs as a defensive coordinator, one of the best defensive minds in the game. So that's a very solid defense. If he can take care of the football, not turn it over, that defense is not gonna put up and not gonna give up a lot of points. They might be relevant down the stretch.
Keyword on might.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording on Saturday, and we're watching this barn burner of a game, Michigan State, Arizona State, which has some direct ties to you, Mr. 2Ks, as you picked this as one of your games last week.
Yeah, this is my Onions game.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you got Arizona State in this bad boy, don't you?
Sure do.
All right.
Herm Edwards.
Coach him up, Herm. Coach him up. Play to win the game. I tell you what, I'd play for Herm Edwards any day.
Absolutely.
I mean,
that's part of the reason. I mean, there's 2 reasons why I picked this game.
You hate Michigan State.
I hate Michigan State, and I'm a Herm Edwards fan.
There you go.
I mean,
there you go. I couldn't name a player on his team, but
no,
they're the fighting.
I know Herm.
They're the fighting Herm Edwards. That's all I need to know. But kind of the thing that shocked me the most, and I'm saying this as a Notre Dame fan, was the score of the Notre Dame game.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly traditionally has not been one to run up the score, but it was 66-14, I think, was the final line. Mm-hmm. And one of the touchdowns for New Mexico State was in garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm talking about a game that Notre Dame should win, but historically looking back, these are the games that are 7 or 10 point wins, not fucking demolished sessions like this was.
Well, you look at next week. You got Georgia, so it's easy. It's easy to look past a game like this against New Mexico because, I mean, let's just be honest. In practice this week, you're probably doing a little bit of game planning, getting a little bit of a head start on Georgia the following week. So, yeah, when you have a big game like that the next week, it's very easy to look over a team like this. So kudos to them. They did a good job. They took care of business. Took them a little bit to get started.
It did.
But once they got going, I mean,
he did. And just the line for Ian Book, and he didn't play most of the second half. He went 15 for 24, 360, 5 passing touchdowns, and another rushing touchdown. So more of the Ian Book that Notre Dame fans were used to last year. But you're right. They did get off to a slow start, and some of that could have been, at this point in Book's career, I don't think you can chalk it up as nerves. He's this isn't like his third or fourth start. He started at home many times. But they did have two running backs out.
Yep.
One of the major receivers, our best tight end, hasn't played yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, one of the running backs was a fucking DB who torched it. And I'm sitting there going, do we really need another defensive back? 'Cause that kid can run the fucking ball. But you're right. They have a big challenge next week going into Georgia, between the hedges, and we'll see what happens there. But again, and especially traditionally as a Notre Dame fan, you look at the line, it's 38.5 at home, and you're thinking, well, crap, this is going to be like a 7 to 10 point game, because that's traditionally what it usually is, and it's irritating. But it was one of those games that they were supposed to win, and they're supposed to win big, and it's good to see that they finally did that.
Yep.
And kind of cruising through some other early scores. There's still a lot of games that haven't got kicked off yet. But UCF was handling Stanford.
Yep.
And I don't know, that Stanford team is just very underwhelming at this point.
Yeah.
Very underwhelming, especially for that defense that they have. But yeah, they're traditionally more of a powerhouse or more of a contender, and maybe this is just a down year. Yeah. I don't know.
And not to take anything away from UCF.
No.
I mean, they're legit.
No, they, and then that's Brandon Wimbush behind center. So Brandon's played in a lot of big games. Not to say this was a huge game, but he's a veteran.
Yep.
So he knows how to take care of stuff. And USC BYU was a tight one. I didn't expect this to be tight at all. Ohio State rolled against Indiana, and this was if you watched any College Game Day, they spent a little bit of time on this, saying again, historically, this is a game that Ohio State should go in and dominate, where in years past they haven't. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's getting back to what you were talking about, the overlooking a team for next week, but that's with Ohio State and Urban, that's kind of what you got. There was one clunker a year where you just check the score and you're like, what? Seriously? You lost to fucking Indiana?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and when you look at some of those games in the years past, they've been kind of shootouts.
Yeah.
And one of the things you can always kind of say about Ohio State is, offensively, they can probably play with anybody in the country. Over the years, their defense has had a tendency to give up a lot of points. Mm-hmm. Indiana, on the other hand, has always been kind of a high performance offense. They can score fast, and that's I think that's kind of the reason they kind of just get into this shootout game, and but today Ohio State's defense looks very, very good.
Yeah. I know you can. It's probably pains you a little bit to say that, but you're someone as well that can appreciate things like that. Yeah. You can set your fandom aside and be like, these boys are fucking good.
Well, I said it at the beginning. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm picking Michigan to win the Big Ten. I'm picking them to beat Ohio State this year finally. But 3 weeks into the season, Ohio State's the best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and
from the eye test,
probably one of the top. I mean, they're one of the top 5 teams in the country,
absolutely.
hands down.
And if they go on and keep playing like they are, and they win the Big Ten, they're in the playoff.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, hands down.
That pretty much goes without saying. But let's keep it in the Big Ten, and scoring fast. And Maryland didn't score fast today.
No,
they didn't score fast at all. They got upset by Temple, 20-17, and there was some talk that on game day that Temple isn't getting the hype they deserve. Their defense is pretty stout. I mean, they play some tough ball down in Temple, and I'm like, I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't watch a lot of Temple football, but I can remember watching them. Maybe you probably would know the answer to this. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago when they were playing against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and they played them really, really well. I mean,
very tough.
So, hey, I mean, Maryland's been putting up 60 points against the first 2 opponents that they played this year, and to hold them to 17 today, Temple. I mean, they must have something going there.
Yeah, and
Temple was in talks this offseason about bringing Don Brown, defensive coordinator from Michigan, over there. So
maybe they're a little bit more legit than I thought. That's not a diss on wholly open receiver. That's not a diss on on holy shit, I lost my on I got so enamored with the Arizona State receivers open by 10 yards. But that's not a slight to Maryland or Maryland fans, but it's just like, wow, I didn't realize that this was one of those games that I just like, Maryland, they're fucking rolling.
Yeah.
But that's one of the great things about sports. You never know. You never know.
I jumped all over him last week.
Yeah. And speaking of game day, they were down in Iowa State, and that was a squeaker last I saw. Iowa State was up 7-3.
Yeah, and there says delayed.
Must be rain.
Yeah.
Must be rain. And even Alabama 47, South Carolina 23. That's closer than what most folks thought. Georgia blew out Arkansas State 55-0. Penn State escapes the pit game with a close one, 17-10. So I think with most of these games, where week 1 and 2 were more lopsided affairs. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, I just pointed out a couple, the Notre Dame, but you're seeing a lot more of these scores getting closer and closer and closer, and the games becoming closer and closer as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe these boys have got their tune-up games out of the way, and it's time to start football for real now. Mm-hmm. Let's check. Did I miss any? No, I think that's about all the recap for today. Like I said, there's still games going on. It's about 1:30 in the fourth, and Arizona State's driving on Michigan State. So 2K's your pick might still be good. Because there's plenty of time left. They're driving.
It'd be very, very hard to score against Michigan State's defense, though.
That's true.
Unfortunately, a field goal is not going to do them anything here. They got to get in the end zone, and
they got to finish it off.
Yep.
Got to finish it off. All right. Well, enough college talk. I've actually had a lot of people ask me about this, and by a lot, I mean 2. So, like, Turbo, what do you think about how do you think all the teams are gonna line up in the NFL? Well, you asked, and goddamn it, we're gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give each division who wins it and how everyone else falls that way, and then we're gonna give you our wild card teams, offensive MVP, defensive MVP, offensive rookie of the year, and defensive rookie of the year, and our Super Bowl picks right here. You can take this to Vegas. Go ahead and bet on it, and then split the winnings with me, and we'll be cool. All right, Mr. 2Ks. I'm pretty sure in the AFC East, I know who you're gonna pick is gonna win this division.
Yeah.
Is it Buffalo?
I mean,
because right now Buffalo's leading the division.
After careful consideration, yeah. No, the Patriots.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I think if that division was better, that would make, because I mean most everyone thinks Tom Brady's the GOAT anyway.
I mean, if you don't, you don't know anything about football.
Yeah, whatever. But
I mean, how was he not?
That's a discussion for a different story.
You can say that you don't like him.
Yeah.
But you gotta fucking respect him.
And I do. I'm just picking on you. But if that division was a little bit more deep, can you go higher than GOAT status? Because one could use the argument that he walks into the playoffs every year, but you still got to get the job done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, are you okay, Morgan? Yeah.
I mean, the only
weird ass dog.
Really, looking back on Brady's entire career, the only thing I can come up with that is he got beat by Eli twice.
Yeah.
That's really the only knock I can bring up on him. I mean, the Super Bowl loss to the Eagles. I think the Eagles were the better football team.
Yep, I would agree on that.
The Patriots were the better football team in both games against the Giants, and Giants ended up beating them.
So after New England, how do you have the division shaken out there?
Well, these are 3 really, really bad football teams.
Yes, it's like trying to pick the least hot garbage.
I know that Buffalo beat the Jets last week, but I have the Jets figuring it out and finishing second in that. I just think Le'Veon Bell's too good.
Knocking the rust off.
Now-
And he actually looked better last week than I even thought he would.
Yeah, and
I was impressed.
Now, it does scare me with you don't know how long Darnold is going to be gone now with having mono. That scares me a little bit, but which is so fucking weird.
You're a grown ass man. How are you getting mono?
He probably kissed his first girl.
It's true. He does look like a virgin.
But I mean, it's still Buffalo. I just think I don't know what the fuck's going on there, and I have Buffalo finishing third, and that's just because I think Miami might be the worst football team in the league.
Yeah,
so.
they're when your star defensive back requests a trade,
Which
already.
I'm really hoping that the Cowboys make something for him.
I tell you what, for what you get for his remaining contract, it's a steal.
Yeah,
It's a steal for what you get.
I mean,
And we're talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick, by the way, if you guys don't know.
They're talking about the Cowboys being able to land him, giving up a second-round draft pick.
Done.
Well, I mean, are you going to draft someone of his caliber in the second round?
Well, he was, the 10th or 11th pick, or even higher?
I'd rather take the proven, who's only been in the league for 2 years, over whatever guy you're going to get in the second round now.
Yeah, done.
Make the trade.
Done. I mean, arguably, you could say he's worth the first pick because he was a first-round draft pick, and he's only gotten better. So, yeah, for what you'd have to give up, considering the financial aspect of it, it'd be a no-brainer to me.
Yep.
But I actually have the AFC East falling exactly the same way. And like I said, it's New England and then a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
With Le'Veon Bell running around all of it.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the North. I have Pittsburgh winning the North. I think that to me, they're always that team in that division that I just can't count out.
Yeah.
I know they've lost. I mean, they're probably glad now that Antonio Brown's gone. But to lose Brown and Bell in pretty much the same year, let's put it that way, that's a lot of offense.
Yeah.
That's a lot of offense, a lot of touches, and two very talented playmakers.
I mean, you talk about those two, and obviously that's a huge deal. I look at it on the defense side of the ball, and you take Ryan Shazier out of there. And, I mean, what happened with him is, so unfortunate. But, man, you talk about an up-and-coming star. What he was on his way to being, I mean...
You can see how much that defense needs him.
Yes.
Now, they drafted the kid from Michigan. Was it Gary? No, he's a pass rusher.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But
Devin Bush.
Yes. But I see him as in that same role.
Well, that's why they drafted him. They needed to have that, because what made Shazier so good is how fast he was and how he could get to the outside and make tackles from sideline to sideline. And Bush is very similar in that. So it was a good draft pick. Bush isn't going to be to that Shazier level for another 2 or 3 years, though. It's going to take him some time.
But it's to me, it was the perfect draft pick. Yes. I mean, those two were meant for each other. I've got Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and then another team that I think might be one of the worst in the league, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Well, when is Cincinnati just going to call it quits with dipshit there, the quarterback? Firecrotch.
Yeah.
The hell is his name?
See, he's so awesome. We forgot his name.
No. I mean, he's so
Red Rocket.
He's so shitty.
Andy Dalton.
Dalton, yes, he's so shitty.
But you know what? He looked the part. His first couple years were legit. It's just that team that everything around it was just garbage.
Yeah.
And so game update. 4th and 8. New Mexico or Arizona State's quarterback takes the keeper to get the first down. 4th and 8.
Come on.
4th and 8. D'Antonio's pissed. D'Antonio and we're saying this, and they're on the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 on the 13. Arizona State driving. There's 1:16 left in the game, and mind you, that was a 4th down picked up after a false start penalty. Oh, he's got it. Get it. Goes out of bounds. After all that, I think he got 4 yards.
So my AFC North is a little bit different from you. I'm jumping on Baltimore.
It's okay to be wrong.
I'm jumping on Baltimore. I got Baltimore winning that division. I know I know week 1 was Miami, and we just I think we agree they might be the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, they always have that solid defense. You might not know, maybe a couple players on that entire defense, but they're always good.
They're always good, and there's no more Ray Lewis. There's no more Ed Reed. There's no more T Sizzle.
I absolutely for the play style that they have, where they just want to run the football, and they want a running back that can. They want a running back that can take on 20, 25 carries. I absolutely love Mark Ingram there.
Yes.
I just think that he has that physique to be able to take on that workload, and he could be.
He did it. He did it in college.
Yes.
I mean, that was pre Nick Saban having 18 running backs that he runs out. I mean, that's the reason he won the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the man is a giant.
Yes. And Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's so exciting to watch. And you know what? He might be the next Cam Newton 3 or 4 years from now. He might be so beat up.
And that is the reason why I couldn't put him ahead of Pittsburgh yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is I can't give them the division after one game.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think they can win it? Yes, absolutely. But I need more proof.
Yeah.
Just because you can pass all over the Dolphins, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, like you said, it's a toss up between them and Cincinnati for the worst fucking team in the league, and that I have Arizona above them, and we'll get to them later, but yeah, it for me it's a wait and see.
Yeah,
it's a wait and see. Like I said, I can't crown them yet. I can't do it, and it's the same with Cleveland. They have to prove it to me.
Yeah,
and Pittsburgh has been that proven commodity for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more that offense plays, the better they're going to gel, and the more they're going to get back to Steeler football.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason why I couldn't put. Did I think about it? Yes, but could I put them above Pittsburgh? No, not yet.
Yeah. Well, I am. So I got Baltimore there, and I have number 2. I have Cleveland. I'm jumping on it. I mean, I know they looked like fucking shit last week.
They looked horrible.
Baker looked terrible. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. There's a lot of new faces in there. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Maybe he needs a shotgun of beer before the game.
That might be it. That might be the problem. But I think they're going to be fine. Pittsburgh, they just, after watching them last Sunday night against the Patriots, and I know it's the Patriots.
First down.
I know
oh,
it's
shit.
I know it's the Patriots, and they're probably the best team in football. But, man, Pittsburgh just looked awful. They just looked awful.
With that game, you can't even blame it on the offense. You can't blame it on the defense. It's a whole fucking team.
It
looked like hot garbage.
It was terrible. So I have Pittsburgh number 3, and then I have Cincinnati at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
They still have that dumbass we were talking about, Andy Dalton. Yeah,
they have that guy. They have that guy. And a game update. First and goal from looks like the 1. The Arizona State quarterback broke contain and did he lose the ball?
Well, don't reach out like that. God damn, he almost coughed it up.
I thought he did. I thought he lost the ball. Why? How is that? Put your arms down. It's not a touchdown. Oh shit! Yeah, it is.
I gave him a touchdown.
Holy shit! And I think there's less than a minute left to go.
Yeah, he
did. He did. Holy shit! Holy shit! The Fighting Herm Edwards are doing it in Spartan Stadium. Yeah,
that's
clearly a touchdown.
Absolutely,
clearly a touchdown. But yeah, we were both right. He did not fumble it, but he reached over the goal line and lost the ball. Yeah, definitely a touchdown.
Absolutely,
definitely a touchdown. So upset, yes, we were watching upset in the making. I mean, granted, there's still some time. But I'm not betting on Lewerke going the length of the field in 50 seconds, and with I don't see any timeouts. So, yeah, Sparty, I'm sorry. Sparty fans, you can blame 2Ks on this when he jinxed you.
Good. I'm not sorry at all.
Well, let's go from the north. Let's go down south. Who's your number 1 team down south?
Houston.
Me too.
Man, I was very impressed with them. I know that they didn't win week 1, but they played against the Saints.
That was one of the best games of the week. So that game could have Now, when they went down and scored with what, like 40 some seconds left, I was like, oh, this game's over. This game's over. And then the field goal kicker misses the extra point, and then the poor Saints fans, you get this call, the roughing the kicker call, which wasn't roughing the kicker. It wasn't even running into the kicker. It's like glance blow of the kicker. So he gets another shot, and dude makes it.
So I have a funny fantasy football story to talk about that game, and it's a different league. It's not our 2Ks league that we're playing in, but it's notice I say 2Ks league because it's 2Ks.
2Ks league, we're just paying rent.
But no, different league I'm playing in, and that guy I'm playing against, I'm ahead going into that. Well, the last time that Houston had the ball, I'm ahead on him by like 18 points. Let's just throw it out there. It's somewhere around that.
Right.
Sean Watson throws his touchdown pass. He has Deshaun. Mm-hmm. I see the pass go, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's touchdown, whatever. I know I'm beating him by enough to where I still have the lead.
Right.
So, but at the same time, I'm curious. So I look at the score. I'm like, okay, I got him I'm still beating him by 6. Mm-hmm. Then I'm looking down through there. I'm like, oh shit, he's got the Saints field goal kicker. So I'm like, instantly, I'm looking through the rules of the league to see what scores or what.
That's about a 5-point field goal, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking through and I'm like, oh shit. No matter what,
got him
the
beat.
only thing he can get is 5 out of the field goal. So I'm like, he can kick it from 70 fucking yards. I don't care. So he kicked the field goal. I ended up winning the league by 1 point on that. But talking about a little bit of pucker action on my side. Oh yeah.
I bet. Yeah, you had a lot of butt puckering last week, man. With your Wolverines, I'm sure that was that had to be a stressful game.
That was
and then your fantasy league.
I play in three fantasy leagues. Our league, I wasn't worried about that one bit. Played against my dad and destroyed him. But my other 2 leagues, that one I won by 1. My other one I lost by 1. So yeah.
Now is it this week that you're playing Kayla, or is that your dad?
Oh, I'm playing Kayla this week.
Yeah.
Her team's legit.
Yeah, her team's tough, man.
Her team's legit.
Tough. I get Frank.
That team's not legit.
No. I didn't want to play him this early. But maybe playing him this early, maybe I get to play him twice.
No, there's nobody as of right now, and I know that injuries are going to happen and things are going to shake up. But right now, there's nobody in our league that I want to play, or that I don't want to play against more than Kayla's team. Her team is good.
Told you. Don't sleep on her. Don't sleep on her. But yeah, so we both agree on Houston. I've got Indy as the number 2 team in that league, or that division.
See, I have the Jags there. The Jags defense, I mean, it didn't look good against the Chiefs. The Chiefs kind of exploited the defense a little bit, but that's maybe
what's the Chiefs?
Besides the Patriots, maybe the best offense in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Now, it does scare me with Foles being out. But that kid, I don't even know his name. The kid that came in, Minshew.
I don't even know how to fucking pronounce it, to be honest with you. Minshew.
Minshew. That's what we're gonna roll with that.
Minshew.
Damn, he looked good.
Spearman Adidas.
He looked good. So
yeah, he did. Shockingly enough, I couldn't tell you where he played college.
No,
I couldn't
tell you a damn thing about him, but I was impressed.
Maybe he won like the A's signed that dude off the throwing 97 or 98 in that like the radar testing. Maybe they've signed that dude kind of the same thing. Like, who the fuck knows who this guy is? Yeah. Did he even play football in college? Is he Uncle Rico?
But I mean, now this is the hardest division in the AFC, in my opinion.
It is, because it is, but it isn't. There's one defined team.
Yeah, but imagine if Andrew Luck was still there.
Yes.
Then that's a tough decision to make between the Colts and Houston if Luck is there.
And I think even if Luck is there, I still have it Houston 1, Indy 2. Of course, it's easy to say that since he's not playing. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Jacoby Brissett is as bad as people think he is.
No, I don't think he is. You can't.
When that year he was playing when Luck was out, that team was horrible.
Oh yeah, it's a total.
This team now is way better.
Yes,
they probably have the best offensive line they've had in Indianapolis in a decade. And everyone's like, well, he doesn't have receivers. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton is a number one.
Mm-hmm.
Marlon Mack is a very young and up-and-coming running back.
Yep.
And the Colts always have some badass tight end that no one even knows who the fuck he is.
Well, they got two of them that are pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, Ebron's still there. Ebron's still there. What's funny about Ebron? Ebron owners are like, oh my god, he didn't put up the numbers this week that he did last year. Come on, man. Come on. And 90% of the people who own Ebron are Lions fans.
Yeah.
Calm down. Calm down. Talk to me about a real issue, please. But yeah, I've got Indy, and then I've got Tennessee and Jacksonville.
Ooh.
I'm going. The only reason Jacksonville's down below is because Foles isn't there.
Yeah.
If Foles is there, they're by far better than Tennessee. But Tennessee opened my eyes a little bit. If Mariota can play like that and stay healthy for the whole year,
Derrick Henry can play like that all year.
yeah, well, unless he's on your fantasy team.
Yeah. I mean, do I think that Derrick Henry's gonna take many 78-yarders, screen passes to the house? Probably not.
No.
But take away that play, he still had a fucking legit day.
Oh shit, we got some drama here at Spartan Stadium. 14 seconds to go. They're on the 29-yard line.
Yep. Yeah, closer than that. 24.
Oh, is it? And 11 seconds to go. And why kick the fucking field goal right now? Stop it. $10 says Lewerke throws a pick right here.
That would be fun.
$10 says it because you can't run the ball. You have no timeout. They have one timeout left.
Well, no, that might just be the thing showing possession.
So they have no timeouts. Fourth quarter, 11 seconds. And if they don't... Oh.
Here they come.
Dude, he's so missing it.
Oh.
42-yard field goal. Oh, he nailed it.
He nailed it.
Nailed it.
I mean,
going in overtime.
Can't kick it any better than that.
No, and for him to do it like that after running out when that... I mean, Antonio didn't send the field goal kicker out until there was like 5 seconds left to go on the play. Oh, there's a flag. There's a flag.
I don't know if he got it off on time.
Oh shit! The drama builds. The drama builds. Other score news: Texas A&M is up 10-0. UCF went final 45-27 over Stanford. Iowa State still 7-3. That's a barn burner. Let's see what this flag is. This could be huge. 2Ks. This could be huge. This could be huge.
No, I look at talking about the Colts, and you know, very, very valid point. I think Jacoby Brissett is very, very capable of you know, of winning some games there, and it is a total different team from his last stint.
Absolutely.
But man, when you lose Luck in week 2, week 3 of the preseason, is when he announced, and maybe the Colts inside, we just didn't know about it. Maybe they knew that this was coming.
Okay, the field goal is good. Whatever the penalty was had to be after the fact. Because, it's good. And it looks like we're going to overtime in Spartan Stadium. Now, Sparty fans, correct me if I'm wrong. They ran a kind of a... I did not watch this whole game. I'll be the first to admit. But it looks like he missed 2 field goals earlier in the game. So if that's the case and he comes and hits this one, wow, kudos to you, bro.
Yep.
Kudos to you.
No, I just think, you know, you lose Luck so close to the season, to the season starting. I just think it's going to be...
It's going to take a minute to get your feet under you.
It's going to be so hard for them to... I mean, you can't replace a guy like Andrew Luck and think that it's just you're just going to pick up where you left off. Because honestly, if Andrew Luck's there, I probably have the Colts winning that division. I was one of the guys saying before the season even started that the Colts were kind of my dark horse to win it all.
And either way you go about that, if Luck is healthy, Houston and Indy are both going to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And what was just a matter of who's winning the division and who's going in the wild card.
Yep.
So the AFC West, this one, I don't know. This was one I had to think a little bit, and it's not because of the team that's going to win the division. I think we can both agree that Kansas City is going to run away with this one.
Correct.
It's how the next teams stack up. And the reason I say that is because the second team in this division I have as a wild card spot. So, and I don't. Everything inside me does not want to pick Phillip Rivers, but I've got the Chargers I got the Chargers, Denver, and then Oakland. I'm not believing the hype in Oakland yet. I can't. And I was this close to putting Oakland over Denver just because how Denver looked week one. But I think everything's going to come. No, they took the field goal off.
What the fuck is happening here?
I don't know. This is what happens when you try to run a podcast and watch TV at the same time.
You definitely have the better seat because you can. I have to turn around to.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I of course the sound's off. But yeah, they're attempting the field goal again. Second down because they spiked the ball once they got up on it. 6 seconds to go. And the good part is they can't freeze the kicker because no one has any fucking timeouts left.
Is it just me or does D'Antonio just look fucking miserable all the time?
Or constipated.
Yeah, like,
oh man, I wish I could take a shit right now. But to me, D'Antoni and Izzo look like they could be fucking brothers.
Yeah,
they both have the same facial expressions. Oh my god! How could you drill the first one with no prep and then something happens? They move it 5 yards back and you fucking you hook that thing in Ann Arbor.
Woo woo!
2Ks.
Sparty down.
Sparty down. If you're in East Lansing, there's going to be some dumpsters and couches on fire.
Oh, shit's going crazy there.
Oh yeah.
The thing about East Lansing is shit goes fucking crazy even when they win.
That's true.
They'll win. They'll win a game and they'll still burn up the whole fucking.
I'm actually shocked that East Lansing doesn't look more like Detroit used to, just because of all the celebrations and beating the shit out of everything. Yeah, there you go, Coach Edwards. Coach him up. Yeah, Tony looked like you wanted to punch him.
He always looks pissed. Like he's just pissed all the time.
He just look like get the fuck away from me.
I just don't like the guy.
So how's your AFC West looking there, 2Ks?
I'm the same with you. I have the Chiefs. Chiefs 1, Chargers 2. I have Oakland 3, Denver 4. Oh, only reason why I have Oakland over Denver is I've never been a Flacco fan. I've never been a Flacco fan. And I really, really like Derek Carr. I love
talking about the Antonio faces and then it pans to that. God, I wish I could have that on video. That was classic.
I really, really like Derek Carr. I root for him.
You know what? He was this close to winning an MVP.
Yes, he was.
If he didn't break his leg, that team's playoff bound, and he's the NFL MVP.
Yep. So and I really like. We're gonna get to this conversation in a little bit, but I really, really like Josh Jacobs. He impressed me.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
In the opener, and I think, I mean, you look at you. It's hard to replace a guy like Antonio Brown, but I think in their case, it worked. They needed to get rid of that.
But did they really have Antonio Brown?
No, exactly. He was just a distraction.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they eliminated that before the season even started, and now you can move on with what you got. Listen, the Raiders.
Shit, I didn't know that. Arizona State beat Michigan State
year.
for the second consecutive year.
Yep.
Coach him up, Herm.
But Oakland doesn't need any help in being a joke. I mean, they've been a joke for years.
Yeah.
So to get rid of that and move on, try to build up. Try to.
And
correct me if I'm wrong, but they're out of Oakland here in what, 2 years?
After this year.
After this year, yes.
Because when after watching that game, because the Week 1 game was in Oakland, and they said that this is going to be the last home game that you'll ever see which to me was kind of a nostalgic moment where the baseball field. And that's the last stadium like that.
Yep.
So this is going to be the last game you'll ever see that.
Yeah.
Because next year they're supposed to be moving into Vegas.
Yep.
So.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're very, very young.
Yes.
I don't have any statistics. I would say that they're probably one of the youngest teams in the NFL, though. So build off of that. You don't need a guy like Antonio Brown in there. Yes, I know he's very, very good, and it's not every day that you're going to get a receiver like that to throw to, in Derek Carr's,
But look at it
shoes.
this way: you might not, even if they would have kept him, you might not have him for that long anyway.
Exactly.
With the other shit that's come out, which I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, does that shit even come up if he doesn't go to
True.
the Patriots?
True.
I mean,
There's so much around it. There's so much extra shit that I'm like, I just want to stay away from it.
yeah, and
Do I make fun of it and post memes? Yes.
yeah,
That's what I do.
yeah.
That's what I do. But no, let's go into more your neck of the woods, 2Ks.
NFC.
The NFC East, which to me might be one of the more intriguing divisions in football. It usually is.
Well, as far as it, man, I think it was kind of easy to go through all these AFC divisions, and we might have been a little bit different here and there, but we were
Right.
pretty much the same on all of our top teams. In the NFC, I think it's hard. It's hard to to pick these teams, and you start off with the NFC East in Dallas and Philly. Those are two of the better teams in all of football, in my opinion.
Especially in all of the NFC.
And I have Dallas number 1 there.
I do too.
But it would not shock me one bit if Philly won that.
Nope.
I do believe that whoever finishes second in that division is going to be a wild card
for
team.
sure. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. I've got Washington and then the Giants in that one.
I'm the same.
I mean, unless Daniel Jones comes in,
Yeah,
and then they're still fourth.
yeah.
They're still fourth. But so yeah, I've got Dallas, Philly, Washington, New York. So I think we have both of that the same.
Yep.
NFC North, man. The Vikings. I'm driving that. I'm driving that bus. Anyone that wants to hop on, there's plenty of room. That team looks 100% night and day different with a healthy Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did Cousins throw? 10 fucking passes?
yeah.
I mean, and they rushed for more yards than they've rushed for in 30 years or some shit. Like before the forward pass was invented or something like that. But no, with all joking aside, Cousins looked good. He looked sharp.
Yes. And when
You have two of the best wideouts in the game,
Yeah.
in Diggs and Thielen,
Yep.
and a pretty badass tight end too, and Kyle Rudolph.
Yep.
And then you got this monster in the backfield in Dalvin Cook and a pretty decent quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a decent quarterback, and when Dalvin Cook is healthy and when he's there, and last year he wasn't,
Right.
so you're putting a lot of
Pretty much for the last 2 years,
yes,
right?
you're putting a lot of weight on Cousins to have to get it done, and he's not that quarterback. You don't want Cousins throwing the ball 40 times,
No.
but if you can
As
get,
Michigan State fans.
if you can get Cook where he's rushing for 100 yards.
Yes.
That's going to take all the pressure off Cousins. Cousins got to throw the ball 25 times in the game. And like you said, you got Thielen, you got Diggs, you got Kyle Rudolph. It's a very, very scary team.
And the defense is legit as fuck.
Yeah.
To me, they're the most complete team in that division.
Yep.
Do I think that their defense is better than the Bears? Probably not.
No.
Do I think that their offense is better than Green Bay's? Yeah. But I've got Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit.
Okay, so I gotta disagree with you on that. I got the Packers
Yep.
number 1.
Which-
Do I think that the Vikings offense is better than the Packers? Fuck no.
I do.
You got Aaron Rodgers, who, I mean, there's been some injuries the last couple of years, and that's played a toll on him. But man, you talk about maybe one of the most talented players of our lifetime.
Well, he's going to have to use all of that talent because the only receiver that besides Devontae Adams is Equanimous St. Brown, because I'm a Notre Dame fan, which he stepped up a lot last year, but he's hurt right now. Given if you take Rodgers out of there and put him in Minnesota, my God.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, would it shock me if Green Bay won this division? Absolutely not. But right now, the most complete team in my eyes is Minnesota. Defensively, offensively, and yes, it is hard to pick against Aaron Rodgers just because he's fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You never know. Would I take Aaron Rodgers over Kirk Cousins in a heartbeat? Without a doubt. But with everything around them, to me right now, as we're sitting here 9-14, I think that they're the most complete team. But like I said, could Rodgers tear it up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's hard because like with the Vikings, you got Thielen and you got Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
To where with the Packers, you got Devontae Adams, who's their number one. Then they got 2 or 3 guys that are up and coming.
Emerging.
You still got Jimmy Graham there.
Yep.
But I would take.
I don't think they utilize Jimmy Graham nearly enough.
Yeah.
Nearly enough.
No, they don't. But
No one
but
has-
that could change. That could
Yeah.
change. You know, there's a whole different coach there. There's a whole
That's
different
very true.
offense going. That could change. He did score a touchdown against the Bears.
But you remember him in New Orleans scoring 2
Oh yeah.
touchdowns, having 100 yards or at least 10 grabs a game. They used him differently than every other team
Oh yeah.
that he's ever been on.
There was people drafting him before Gronk.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's how high people were on him, and that's how good he was in New Orleans. Absolutely. But with the Packers, I know that there wasn't much of a running game against the Bears, but Bears are the best defense in the NFL. I mean, I'm going to put that out there, and I think most people would agree with me on that. But
Especially Frank.
I think Aaron Jones is going to surprise some people. I think he's a lot better than what people think. I think getting him in the offense they're in now, where it's basically a lot of zone reads, one cut and go, and I think that plays right up his alley. And once they get that running game going, oh man, it's what Aaron Rodgers could do if he has a legit running game going.
He's the
It's
master.
going to be very, very scary.
Aaron Rodgers is a master of play fake.
Yep.
Master of play fake.
So I have the Packers winning that. I'm with you on the Vikings. I like the Vikings. I think they're their defense is one of the best in the game. You got Zimmer as your head coach. He's a defensive mind. Defense is always good.
He has the pinkest face in the NFL too.
My thing is when it comes down, when I have 2 really, really close teams on paper, I kind of lean towards the quarterback, and I'm taking Aaron Rodgers over Kirk Cousins any day of the week.
Understandable.
Everybody wants to rip on everybody wants to try to be experts after 1 week of football.
course.
And everybody wants to rip on Mitch Trubisky and how terrible he was. But and rightfully so. He was fucking terrible.
Right.
But let's give a little bit of credit to the Packers defense. Let's give a little bit of credit to the Packers as a whole, as a GM, going out and spending the money that they needed to spend on defense.
Which is unusual for them.
And
having the balls to let go, Clay Matthews.
Look at those guys. I mean, it was those guys that they spent the money on that were making big plays in that game against the Bears.
Yep.
You look at the Amos pick that kind of went under the radar, and
Not the Bears fans that didn't.
And he comes up with the big interception in the end.
Sealed the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you ask any Bears fan out there, they said the Bears were stupid to not re-sign him.
I mean, it didn't work out in a trade, but it almost kind of was a trade because it flip-flopped because Clinton Dix ended up with the Bears. But I would rather have Amos than Clinton Dix.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
I have the Bears number 3 though.
I do too. And then obviously Detroit.
Detroit, wow.
They're Detroit. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But so the NFC South, we got the Fighting Drew Breeses taking that one. And probably my biggest disappointment of week 1 was the fucking Falcons.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've been a disappointment since they went to the Super Bowl. They never recovered.
Insert the 28-3 jokes here now.
Yeah. I mean, but they were so good that year.
How can Matt Ryan be as good as he's better than his record? He's better than that team.
Yeah.
And is it just because their defense is horrible? You have one of the top wideouts in the fucking league.
I mean, do we credit the guy that's heading the Packers now, who was the quarterback coach?
Yeah.
With Matt Ryan. I mean, he was the quarterback coach when Matt Ryan was the MVP, and when Matt Ryan and the Falcons were in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He leaves, and everybody wants to fucking say, "Oh, Matt, he went to the Rams and he didn't do anything down there. It was Sean McVay calls all the plays there." Well, why isn't Matt Ryan playing like he was when LaFleur was there?
Pose a very good question.
I mean, do I think that LaFleur was went to the Rams and was just calling all the plays and everything. No, McVay was in on that. But those are two very, very sharp minds together, and I'll take those two together than just one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I've got Atlanta 2. Then the two teams we saw fucking Thursday, Tampa Bay and Carolina. Not even excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I have the Saints 1 there. I have Tampa 2. I'm so
So you're that down on the Falcons after week 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they just look like shit.
I'm down on them as well, but I'm not that down on them.
I'm down. I mean, Tampa has a defense.
Tampa has a running game now too.
Tampa has a running game. Tampa has wide receivers. I mean, they got two very, very good wide receivers there. They have an up and coming tight end. If famous Jameis can not turn the ball over and take care of the football a little bit this year.
Not be colorblind and keep throwing it to the other team and dropping it.
I mean, after you get past the Saints in that division, there's are three very, very mediocre teams.
Right now, yes, they are. And I don't mind talking about the Falcons because I think there's more upside to the Falcons than either the other two. The other two I give two shits about. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I mean 100%. 100%. Well, let's wrap it up with the NFC West. And I saved this one for last because we basically did it last week. Mm-hmm. You know, I got Rams, Seattle, 49ers, Arizona.
Same.
And like I said, I saved that one for last just because we already went over that last week. So when we did our 49er breakdown. So no shocker there. No shocker there. So who are your wild card teams, Mr. 2Ks?
We're going to start in the AFC?
Sure, why not?
AFC, I have Cleveland. I'm still on Cleveland. I know they looked like shit last week, but I said it's going to take a little bit of time. They're going to get it. They're too talented on offense. Mm-hmm. They're too talented on defense.
Too talented
all around to be that bad. I think they're going to be fine. And then I have the Chargers.
I went Baltimore and Chargers. And like you and I talked about, I can't put Baltimore ahead of Pittsburgh right now. And that's funny. It's the same division. Mm-hmm. You know, we both think the wild cards are coming. We have the same wild card, but then the other one's coming out of the same division. NFC, I went Philly and Seattle.
I went Philly and Minnesota. I was really, really stuck between. I think Philly's going to be easy because I think Philly and Dallas are going to have very, very similar records.
It might actually come down to the head to head with those two.
So that one was pretty easy for me. With Minnesota, it was very hard to decide between Minnesota and Seattle. Mm-hmm. Seattle they're always good. You can never count Russell Wilson out. They have a very, very good running game.
They're scary because A, now they have Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
And B, they're the type of team that they just need to get into the playoff to make something happen. Yeah. Which is scary as fuck.
No, Pete Carroll is scary. I mean,
yeah, and he Russell Wilson, even though he doesn't get a lot of fantasy love, he doesn't get a lot of hype, but he wins. Yes. That's all he does is win.
Yep.
And yes, that defense is not the Legion of Boom anymore. I think what is it? Just one of the linebackers is left. You know, Earl Thomas is gone. Mm. Sherman's in San Francisco. So yeah, I'm not counting them out. And like I said, they're that if you're in the NFC, you do not want to see them in the playoffs because they're that sneaky, always fucking shit up, and next thing you know, they're in the NFC title game when they shouldn't be, or what analysts like you or I, we're analysts now. Fuck it, that we don't think they should be. So that, like I said, I've got Philly and Jacksonville, or not Jacksonville, Seattle. Wow, I can't read my own handwriting. So let's get to the MVPs, Mr. 2Ks, using our prognostication.
I went quite a bit off the cuff here. And your people are probably gonna be like, "Oh, you're a fucking Dallas fan,
Homer."
Yeah. But I'm jumping on this Dak Prescott bandwagon right now. And after week 1, he arguably looked like the best quarterback in the league after week 1.
But the numbers don't lie. I think when you and I were breaking this down, the only quarterback that had better numbers was Jackson.
Yeah.
But yet again, playing at Miami. So,
and first thing for him, new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
And man,
looks night and day different.
Yes. And it's funny because Kellen Moore was playing quarterback, was Dak's backup quarterback just a couple years ago.
I was pretty sure that he was at Boise State like 4 years ago. It seemed like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, like, fuck it, I don't want to play anymore. I'm just going to coach.
I think last season he was quarterback coach there.
Yes.
And it was just
a lot of folks say in 2 years he's going to be the head coach.
Yeah. Which man, I get it. It's the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Giants. But damn, that defense or that offense looked
legit.
Yeah. And
legit.
I mean, you look at what Dak has around him. He has maybe the best running back.
Mm-hmm.
He has probably the best offensive line.
Yes.
He has maybe not any of the top wide receivers, but
he's top 10.
Does he have maybe the 3 best wide receivers in all of the league on his team, and with the 3 that he has?
Yep.
I mean,
and then you throw hard hitting Jason Witten in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how hard hitting he is anymore.
So all the weapons that Dak has, man, not only that, but maybe not even a maybe. Probably here in the next couple weeks is going to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL for the time being, until maybe the next week or the next year. But he's going to get paid, so he's going to have that going for him. He just has everything is going his direction right now to just go off this year and have a huge year.
And you know what? It's a put up or shut up year. In my opinion, they're aside from Eli Manning because of the quarterback situation. No one has more on their plate and pressure on them than Dak Prescott because everyone else on your team just got fucking paid.
Yeah,
you and the receiver are the only ones left.
Yep, and they're gonna get paid.
Yeah, they are without a doubt. But in my opinion, this is just for all the reasons that you just said. This is his put up or shut up year. This is where, and if he puts up, I could totally see him being the MVP.
Yeah.
Because of what you just said, the team around him, you know, his weapons, that defense looks legit. And it's one of those things where if it happens like that, it happens at the perfect time to get your extension. And the only thing I'm worried about is if they do get all this success, Jerry Jones wins the Super Bowl, we might not ever hear the end of it again.
Hey, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So, shit. No, but I mean, the last few years have been kind of hard to be a Cowboys fan, but right now it's pretty nice because they've tied up some contracts with some very, very.
You have a 5-year window right now.
Yeah,
and that's some pressure.
And but they should be really, really legit for 5 years with these contracts that they've. I mean, they've done it right. They've built around this offensive line that, like I said, is probably the best in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And they got their main 3, and they've paid them. They've taken care of them, and they have them. And now they just locked up Zeke. They locked up, looking over to the defensive side of the ball, Jalen Smith, Malik Collins, and Marcus Lawrence. Mm-hmm. So they've locked up the big names over there. And you take care of business with Zeke. You're gonna pay Dak. You're gonna pay Amari Cooper. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're going to be good for a while.
Speaking of Lawrence, if you haven't listened to the Drinking Bros podcast, they had an interview with him. My God, it's hilarious. Get on over and listen to that. Just whatever you're listening to with us, just search Drinking Bros. It's first of all, the show's hilarious, but yeah, it's a very good interview. Very good interview. Are they dick riders? Yep. Yep. But it seems like they do that to every person that comes in and is an interview. They're huge dick riders, but it's definitely funny. But that's neither here nor there. My MVP is Mr. Drew Brees.
Okay.
Mr. Drew Brees. I mean, he's not contractually wise, not career wise, but New Orleans has a defense. They haven't had a defense until like the last couple years. It's always been Drew Brees in the offense. Drew Brees in the offense. Yes, did they let Mark Ingram walk? Yep, they got Latavius Murray. Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Kamara's the man.
Yes,
there, so.
yes, and arguably one of the best wideouts.
Oh yeah,
and Drew Brees throws to even people in the crowd during the game.
Yeah.
So to me, the receiving core, whoever's open, doesn't matter.
Yeah. It seems like he's always got like 3 different tight ends that are scoring touchdowns every game.
Fucking fancy. But I think it's maybe that year where they win the division, he gets the MVP, win the Super Bowl, walk away. And you know what?
With that.
That would be perfect Saints style.
Mm-hmm.
Go out with a fucking bang.
Yep.
And if that's the way it happens, I've always liked Drew Brees. I really have.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a man's man, a
How
family
can you not
man.
Like him? How can you not like him?
Yeah, I just because you don't like the Saints, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's someone that everyone, if you have a child that's growing up that's being a football player, have him watch Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He does everything the right way, and he does it at such a high level when he shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there were so many people that told him he couldn't since he was probably in Pop Warner.
Yeah.
But look at him now.
Yep.
He's going to win the MVP this year.
All right.
And let's switch to the defensive side of the ball. Who you got there?
Defense side of the ball, Aaron Donald. He's the best player in defense.
It's hard to argue that.
Best defensive player in football. He'll probably lead the league in sacks, and that's that.
That dude is a tiny mountain.
Yeah. He's.
If you watch any of his YouTube videos, fuck.
Yep.
Dude is a rock.
Insane.
I took Mac.
I mean, if there's anybody that you're going to compare to Donald, it's Khalil Mack.
Yep. And we both actually agreed on the offensive rookie of the year, and you kind of alluded to it earlier with Mr. Jacobs.
Yeah, I was impressed with him.
Me too. And you know, like call us dick riders, call us whatever, but we've been talking about Mr. Jacobs now for a couple months, even before the draft. So, does it shock you that we would go this route? Probably not. But his performance week 1, can't argue with it.
Mm-mm.
Then defensive rookie of the year, I went Chase Winovich. To me, that's one of those perfect player in a perfect situation in New England. And to be honest with you, he's probably one of 3 players I really paid attention to for the rookie on the defensive side. So that's who I went with. Maybe it's a little cheating, but that's who I went with.
Yeah, defensive side of the ball, I guess I never really looked at this.
Well, you don't have to take one.
Yeah.
Because I know deep down you want to take the same one.
No. I mean, yeah, I like him. I mean, obviously, I'm Homer. I'm a Michigan guy. I guess I don't really pay attention to a lot. I'm a fantasy fan. I mean, I watch the Cowboys, and then other than that, I'm watching fantasy football. And obviously, the defense doesn't really do it for me. But a rookie that kind of impressed me, and I'm not saying he's going to go win Rookie of the Year on the defense side of the ball by any means, but one that really impressed me was that I paid attention to a little bit was in the Packers and the Bears game was Savage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anybody with a last name of Savage, you got to be a badass on. I mean, you got to be a badass football player if you have the last name Savage.
I would hope so. Yeah.
And something tells me that probably Boone there for the Yankees, he would like to have him over on his team too.
He's fucking savage, bro. Boys are fucking savage in the box, man.
But he's kind of got that it factor as a safety. He's a ball hawk. He's all over the field. It just seemed like every single time around a pass or around a tackle, he was always in the screen. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the rookies that kind of jumped out at me as maybe being able to shock some people this year.
We'll take that. All right, what's your Super Bowl pick? Who you got? Who you got winning?
I got the Patriots there again.
Of course.
I mean, how do you? They showed themselves this week as already being the best team in the NFL, and then they add Antonio Brown to that. And I know there's shit going on with Brown, but we'll see what goes on with that. But
Chip Kelly is stretching.
But like, how? I look at what I watch the Patriots, and they just beat down teams week in, week out, whatever they figure out about a team that they can't defend, they
Take it away.
exploit that, and they just go with it. They take away the best player on the other team every single week, and now you add maybe the most talented wide receiver in the game for the last 5 years onto that team. Pfft, I'm taking the Patriots.
So what you're saying is they're going to pretty much do the same thing they did with Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's going to smash records.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's going to smash
Well,
records.
I don't necessarily think that Tom Brady's going to smash records because I think they have. Well, I mean, they got 5 different running backs there, and I don't
Yes.
even think it really matters which one you have in there.
When I was watching that game, because if I'm not mistaken, you took Tony Michel, didn't you? What do you have, like 4 carries?
Yeah, I mean, they all had about the same. It seemed like.
Yeah.
You know, Rex Burkhead comes in there, and then they bring in James White. Shit, seems like that.
Giselle
Bolden or whatever has been playing for them for the last. He's been the guy that's probably been there the longest.
Giselle took 3 handoffs. You know,
I mean, it doesn't even matter.
No.
They're that good, and like I said last week when they brought in Brown, like they're the team that they've put themselves in a situation where they can take a risk at a guy like Antonio Brown, who let's just face it, he's a fucking idiot. But if you take it and it works out, it makes them even more of the better team, and if it doesn't work out, you get rid of him, and you're still the best team.
But they've had a track record of doing this before.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time.
Yeah.
Randy Moss was a fuck up when they got him too. Yeah. Now, ironic. How ironic would this be? Get AB, they tear it up, go the undefeated throughout the regular season. Somehow, Eli gets the fucking Giants to the playoffs.
That ain't happening.
Eli gets that mess of a team to the fucking playoffs. And if you look at the two times he won it, teams were awful. They were 8-8, barely made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Could this junk of a team win 8 games? Maybe.
No.
Is it going to happen? No. But the irony of the situation is have those 2 guys at it again.
Well, there's nobody in the NFL that Brady doesn't want to see over on that other side. I mean,
exactly. Well, I mean,
he's the only guy that can go out in his football career and say, "I had Brady's number."
Tom Brady sucked my dick. Yes.
But no, I have the Patriots winning it all. I mean,
what do you have on the NFC side?
Dallas.
Okay, so we got New England versus Dallas. I've got New Orleans against Kansas City. I think in the AFC Championship game, it's going to be Kansas City and the Pats.
And that game they're probably going to score over 100 points combined.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
Either that or it's going to be a clunker and they're going to score 21 combined points. But yes, that's who I got out of that one. The NFC, I'm not really sure who the Saints are going to play. Possibly the Cowboys, possibly the Eagles, but the whole Drew Brees swan song, that's what I think is going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really think it's going to happen? It's one of the things I want it to happen more than I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
But with the team around Drew Brees, it's hard to bet against him.
Yeah.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. So with all that aside, it's time for everyone's favorite time. The Pick'em show that's sweeping the motherfucking nation. Paycheck or onions. Paycheck or onions. Paycheck or onions. Paycheck or onions. Did you like that? That little effect? So to kind of give everyone a little score recap, scoring this thing is a little bit harder than what we anticipated because of when we record. But yes, week 1, I got 6 out of 7 total points just because the fucking Lions couldn't win. They had to tie. And I was thinking about this. I'm like, well, should we give like a half point? I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. No, if you tie, there's no points. Yeah. Why? Because tying sucks.
Yeah. Tying is
sucks.
losing.
Yes, because you didn't win.
Yeah.
You didn't win.
Nope.
So I had 6 out of a total 7 points. And week 2, which is what's going on right now, I had Ohio State winning and UCF winning. My other 3 are yet to be determined. Where are you standing, Mr. 2Ks?
Week 1, I had 6 out of 7. I lost on the old. I said the Browns were going to get their first win. Their first week 1 win since 2004. They let me down, just like the Browns let their fans down.
That's what they do.
Year in, year. Yeah, that's what they're good at.
That's what they do.
That's what they're good at. But then I went on week 2. I have Packers over Vikings, not decided yet. The one I got wrong today. I had Maryland over Temple. Temple won that one.
And you won your Michigan State game, right?
I won the Michigan State, my Onions game, Michigan State, Arizona State taking out Michigan State. I won my Pick'em, Penn State over Pitt, and then yet to be decided tomorrow, my paycheck game, Chiefs over the Raiders.
All right. Well, let's start with your Pick'em games for this week, Mr. 2Ks.
My first one, Notre Dame. I have them going down south to Georgia. They've looked a little shaky week 1. Got it back together week 2. I have them going down to Georgia, and they're going to take a loss. Going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means.
No.
But I don't see him going down to Georgia and winning that.
If they have a slow start the way they have the last 2 games, then yes, I agree with you. But my first Pick'em game is I'm taking Michigan State over Northwestern, even though this game is at Northwestern. We just lived the Michigan State demise, I guess you could call it, live here. But I didn't even consider this even when I was making these picks. But I think they're going to come back and get shit going.
There's a good chance that game might be like a hockey score, like 3-0.
Yes, defenses are awesome. If Northwestern had any kind of a quarterback, I'd be more behind him, just because I think we've talked about it at least once. Watching the Oklahoma UCLA game, this isn't going to be a game. No, the flying Chip Kellys. I'm not sure why he was stretching on the sidelines. Maybe he's going to go take a handoff.
Well, have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen Chip Kelly's offenses calling in plays?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Now that will give you an understanding of why they stretch beforehand, because they work harder on the sidelines calling in plays than I think they do on the field.
Jalen Hurts just took a direct snap, obviously because he's a quarterback, but design run, and I'm pretty sure you and I side by side could have ran through that hole. So yes, Oklahoma's up 7-0 on the UCLA Bruins. But my second pick'em game is I'm riding this is kind of ironic that we from what we've talked about, I'm taking the Colts over the Falcons. Taking the Colts over the Falcons, and it's kind of brings everything full circle from what we were talking about earlier. Who's your second one?
Second one, well, like I said, this is kind of still to be determined, but I said last week in one of my pick'ems that the Packers were going to beat the Vikings tomorrow, so that put them 2-0. I have the Packers starting 3-0 this year.
Oh, riding that Packer train.
And Denver will be coming to Green Bay, and Packers taking care of business over Denver.
I was looking at that one as well. But I went Vikings over the Raiders for my last pick'em. That's still riding that Vikings train.
Yeah,
still riding it, and I'm not sold on the Raiders yet.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sold.
My last pick'ems game is after watching last week. I'm a little bit nervous, but you know what? I'm a homer, and I'm gonna stick by my guns. I'm gonna stick by my Wolverines, and I say that Michigan travels to Wisconsin. I said that they were going to clean shit up going into the Army game, and it was a week delayed, 2 weeks delayed because we have a bye week. But
there was a lot of shit they needed to clean up.
They're going to clean shit up on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to score points on Wisconsin, and Wisconsin, I get it. That running back has put up big time numbers, but they haven't faced a defense like Michigan's all year.
Nope.
Do I think that running back will still get his numbers? Yeah, he probably will, but it's a different defense. And do I think he gets into the end zone 3-4 times like he has in the first? No.
Maybe once.
No. It's going to be a knockout, grind-out game. But I think in the end...
It's a Big Ten football game. That's what Big Ten football is.
In the end, Michigan will take care of business and win that game.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that because I'm taking Wisconsin over Michigan for my Onions pick. Everyone's like, well, Onions, why? Michigan's a 6-point favorite right now.
Yeah.
Going into Madison. I'll take that all day. I will take that all day. What about your onions pick, Mr. 2Ks? What do you got?
Well,
Lay it on me. Lay it on me.
one of your favorite teams, not your personal favorite, but one of your favorite teams to make it to the Super Bowl this year, the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And one of the teams that really surprised me in Week 1, yes, I get it, it was Miami that they played against, but they looked very, very impressive. And I have them winning the AFC North is Baltimore. I have Baltimore beating the Chiefs.
There we go. There we go. I like it. I like it. That's what an onions pick is for, folks. That's what an onions pick is for. Well, Mr. 2Ks, let's stick with you and let's round out this episode of Paycheck and Onions. What's your paycheck?
Paycheck game, like we just talked about, the Dolphins, maybe the worst team in football. I'm putting my paycheck on Week 3, Cowboys taking out the Dolphins.
I'm going with Pats over Jets. Why? Because you already know the reason why. We already told you that division's fucking awful. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what a paycheck game is for, folks. That's why you lay your entire paycheck on it, because you have that much confidence that team is going to win. And it pains me because I'm not a Pats fan at all. But when it comes to money and making picks,
true,
got to go with it, especially if it's your for sure. So, I think that kind of wraps it up, 2Ks. We ran a little bit over. We're about an hour 20, but you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
I don't give a fuck.
Nope.
I just want to give a big shout out to everyone in YouTube land. Hit that. We can officially say this. We're YouTubers now.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button. Smash the like. Hit the bell to be notified. Share it with your friends. Comment below. Yep. We're not going to be that fucking annoying all the time, I promise. But yeah, I love all you guys. Thank you we've had some great comments on the video itself. The editing isn't that great yet, but you know what? Trial by error, my friend. Mm-hmm. You know what? Who gives a fuck?
Yep.
People are watching it. People are liking it. We'll keep on doing it. Why? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And yes, I did not. And everyone's going to be like, well, where's the video from last week? My dumbass forgot to hit record. Realized about 20 minutes in, and I'm like, you know what? We've got a great flow going here for the audio side. I'm not worried. I'm not even going to worry about the video. So fuck it. Who cares? And yeah, it's kind of weird sitting here without a Michigan game on.
Yeah.
Not on, but it's kind of like last week. Irish had the.
Yeah.
I don't like these early season buys.
Me neither.
I don't like it.
Me neither. But like I was talking to Child today, I was like, I don't really like Michigan being on a bye because it's just kind of boring not being able to watch them.
It's less stressful.
But it's a lot less stressful not having to watch them. I mean, my blood pressure stayed intact all day today.
Well, and that's going to be one of the things going into next week for both of our teams is how is our offense going to look?
Yep.
Can either one of our offenses get off to a hot start, a quick start? Can we put that score up before our opponents to kind of get that foot in the door, kind of break the ice? Because I think that's what both of our teams need to do to start those games is start hot. Mm-hmm. You can't be lackadaisical. Can't be, everyone called Michigan's offense sluggish. Mm-hmm. In a game like this, you can't afford to do that.
Yeah,
you cannot afford to do it. This is the biggest game of Notre Dame's schedule.
Oh yeah.
And it's not the biggest game for Michigan's schedule, but it's a very big game at an early slot. Mm-hmm. This is kind of like the Notre Dame Michigan territory from years past, where you have those couple games. Week 3 comes out, you should know who you are. Your offensive identity should be set. It's time to rock and roll. You got the 2 cupcakes out the way, or your first two games out the way. So now it's time to be like, all right, who are we? What are we doing? And we should have a lot of those questions answered. So we both have a big test next week, and I say we because we play a very integral part in both teams.
Absolutely.
So I think when we record next week, if I'm not mistaken, the Michigan game's a noon game, correct?
Yeah, noon, and so I like that better because I get nervous for these games, So when I can get them out of the way like first thing noon, I don't have a lot of time to think about it. But when they play like that 8:00 game, it's like all day long. It consists my entire day. Like I'm just constantly thinking about it.
Would you rather have a noon game and your team play like shit, so you have to worry about it the rest of the day, or have a late game, play like shit, and you're
go
like,
to bed.
fuck, I can just go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably lean more on the noon. Because then I would have all day to just like be pissed,
Drink and
be
say, fuck
upset,
it.
drink, and then maybe like drink so much I just pass out.
Yeah.
To where if they play like shit at 8 o'clock, then I probably won't even sleep.
Or just pass out about halftime. Yeah. Either one. Well, 2K Crew, that's our keys to victory for Notre Dame and Michigan. And yes, I'm rooting for Michigan to win because when we meet, I want both of us to be fucking undefeated, which would be the perfect time for Michigan to take a loss. So we will leave you folks with that. Have a great week. And as always, Jim Rome, we're coming for you.